Wake up with the sunshine glow, besties chat in stereo. Life is wild, let's tell the tale. Everyday dreams set a sail. Coffee cups and morning grins, laughing about the little wins. Share the highs and all the lows, couldn't be more apropos. Tune in for the laughs we share, fun and stories everywhere. Besties talking loud and clear, everyday life we hold dear.
Good morning and welcome
to Socially Unsocial.
I'm Patty.
And I'm Danielle.
And we're your hosts.
And we're going to start this day off right with some good stuff.
My microphone is literally bigger than my face to make sure this audio is perfect for us today.
Yeah, it looks like you're licking it. How does it taste?
Oh my God,
metallic-y?
It tastes like we're going to have good audio. That's what it tastes
I am just very proud of ourselves, and I'm proud of our listeners for sticking with us.
You know how sometimes you'll do things and then it's crickets and you're like, what is happening? Sometimes I'll like post things on Instagram and it's like nothing. That's when I text my sisters and I'm like, guys, are you live?
Is anyone listening? Hello? Are you there?
Yeah, like, when my best friends aren't like liking it within 5 seconds, I'm like, is something wrong? What happened? Is the world ending? Is there a blackout?
Social media reassurance. Everyone needs it every once in a while. Yo!
You guys, it's early in the morning. Danielle texted me this morning. She drives to our office at my house from the city. She shows up today looking like a supermodel, as if we are having a photo shoot today. Her hair's curled, not just straightened. She's dolled up. She has accessories on. I still haven't put my earrings in when she showed up. Makeup wasn't on, all the things. So it reminded me last week when we were talking about the difference between how we go to the gym and how like maybe some people like to show up in like, these matching sets and they're like, so, you know, that's how they feel best going to the gym. And then other people are just like in old t-shirts and whatever. The difference of how we show up for the day. Danielle's already texting me at, what was it, like 7:30 in the morning being like, yeah. Good morning, you little ray of sunshine.
You left out the effing part.
I did. Yeah, she did. That word is glorious. It was the first thing I read this morning. What a way to start the day.
Yeah, those are good. That's good. You know, it gives you a little giggle.
It does. Yeah, and it made me feel like I'm ready for anything.
Right. And full disclosure, half of this curl is residual from last night. Oh. So it wasn't just like, oh, I got up 3 hours early to curl my hair. So,
oh my God, how was last night?
It was good. We went to a concert. It was my first experience at the Salt Shed. So for anyone who has not been there, find your favorite artist and go, even if it's not even your favorite artist, because the sound was amazing and just the venue itself was amazing. It's an indoor-outdoor venue in Chicago. And as you're watching the person on stage, you have the city backdrop in the background. So it's so nice. And I think the capacity is less than 4,000 people, so it's super intimate, which I really love versus the United Center or Allstate. Definitely recommend checking out, especially if you can see it outdoors. I feel like the outdoor part of the venue is the best part of it. It'd still be cool inside, but you know, anything outdoors is so much better.
And that's amazing. When you texted me the other day, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to the Salt Shed." It's us suburb moms. It's a big trend right now to go to these things, and I think they're just called salt caves.
Yeah.
So I know that you've been struggling with your sinuses. So when you said you were going to the Salt Shed, I completely forgot you were going to the concert. I was like, oh, are you going to like the salt cave? I've actually never been, but parents will take their kids and the kids will like play in the salt and the parents will sit there and it'll help them if they're like sick. It like boosts your immune system.
Yeah, but I don't think you play in the salt.
Well, the videos on Instagram of these moms, their kids have little shovels.
Oh, really?
Because like, it's not like a corn maze at the pumpkin farm where they can sit and play in the beads of corn.
Right, but I've been to salt caves before, and it's literally a cave made out of salt that you just lay in.
Well, yeah, but there's little bits of salt everywhere that you stand on.
No, these ones you lay in. They're like mini.
Huh. Okay,
well, maybe they've advanced since the last time I was there.
The one, it's near me. I should call them and be like, hey, we're talking about you on our podcast. Can we come in and do a session in the salt cave? But it's a big room full of salt, and there's like salt chairs and little tiny...
They took salt to the extreme. Oh, so I now wonder, you thought when I said I was at the Salt Shed,
yeah,
you thought I was in a salt cave.
I thought you wanted to boost your immune system. Yeah, I was like, more power to you. That's amazing.
Well, I should definitely look into that then, because maybe it will help. I haven't been in a while. There's a place in Niles, King Sauna. So it's like you go in, they have a bunch of different caves, and then each cave does something different, has some kind of salt or what do they call that? Like stone and amethyst or
yeah, cool. That's really cool.
that serves its purpose. And then you can also have a hot pool and a cold tub,
And like a salt,
and then
like
you can go and get massages or like a whole body salt scrub. They scrub all the dead skin off of you, and it feels amazing. I feel always 30 pounds lighter
It sounds so
when
painful.
no, it's so good. You feel so clean after.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. That reminds me of 1 year for our anniversary. Mike took me to the city to air.
Yeah.
Like years ago before it was like had just opened. The prices since have doubled or tripled, but yeah, they have all those different baths. It's a Romanian bathhouse down below, and then salt stations and like exfoliation stations. It's really cool.
Yeah, I haven't been yet. I was trying to figure out that'd be like a cool like girls' day, but I feel like everyone would need to start saving right now.
Yeah,
and then
it's expensive. But I feel like it's frowned upon to talk there. It's like very quiet, very zen. I don't know. They served water and tea when I went. This is years ago. I don't know. But I'm like, okay, well, can I get something more than just like tea and water? I don't drink tea. I want a bubbly,
you should
flavored water.
start drinking tea. It's very good for you.
I should start doing a lot of things. I just started seriously taking my vitamins.
So how do you remind yourself to take your vitamins? Do you put it in the same spot every day? Do you have a reminder on your phone?
No, I should do a reminder on my phone. I literally leave it out on my counter, and I'm nervous to put it in the cabinet because if it's in the cabinet, I won't do it. And I've been really good about it lately. I'm taking fish oil and then vitamins morning and night. I feel like I have more energy during the day, and I don't care if it's a placebo effect. Whatever it is, it's working. I can't believe that this is what I have to do every day forever now. I'm just like, I feel like I'm, 80 years old because who else takes pills that much?
Well, they say the older you get, not that we're old, that's too, like I wanted to start taking ashwagandha. Have you heard? There's so many amazing side effects for ashwagandha, but
I've never heard that.
Well, look it up. It does all the things like anxiety, energy, helps with cortisol levels. You could take it in a pill form, and then I think you can take it in a drink or a liquid, but they say the taste is awful.
What is this, a plant, an herb?
Yeah, it's a natural, think both.
Get down with that.
Well, and for people who are joining us that love us, the conspiracy theory, Kevin James was on Joe Rogan's podcast and was talking about ashwagandha. And so the FDA can't regulate it because it's an all natural herb, like, so no one can own it, so no one can really make money off of it. But it has so many benefits that it's hurting like it could hurt the pharmaceutical companies a lot because it kind of like can repair things. So they were saying, go buy your ashwagandha before they take it off the shelf, and say that there's a shortage in supplies. So I don't know if it comes from the rainforest or whatnot.
Wait, where are you buying this? Did you say that and I spaced out?
No, I think you could. I mean, I found it on Amazon. You could probably go to.
How do you spell this?
GNC.
Make a Google spreadsheet.
Ashwagandha. There was a couple other podcasts that talked about ashwagandha, but they're like, literally, you have to take it every single day. Like, consistency is key. But I feel like that's the same thing with vitamins. You can't just take fish oil one day and then forget about it for 3 weeks. Last night at the concert was my first concert while engaging in this sober October. So I was like, oh my God, it's going to be great. I'm going to save money, right? I'm not going to be buying $11 White Claws. Well, I wanted something besides water. So I went up to the bar and they had this like non-alcoholic section. And I don't even know what it was. It was like a word I couldn't even pronounce, like ashwagandha, almost. Something with like death water. Like Death Water is like the brand of their sparkling and still, but then it was like almost like it was like a kiddie cocktail because they put like some kind of like flavoring in it.
Love that.
And he's like, that'll be $14.40, please. It was like
real.
Okay. So you mean to tell me that I spent more on a non-alcoholic beverage that was pretty much just carbonated water than someone buying a 16-ounce of White Claw?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How much was a bottle of water? Probably at least $9.
I want to say either 5 or 8.
Oh, that's not bad. I remember back in the day, I haven't been to a live concert in years, but you can't bring in flasks to these venues?
No, you go through. It's very frowned upon. And I don't know, again, when the last time you made it to the city to an event, there's these things called metal detectors you got to walk through.
Yeah, that's a big event.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if you had a plastic flask and you hid it in your sock with long pants, that could work.
Interesting. I guess, yeah, I don't know.
But have you seen those things on the internet, Instagram and stuff, where they sell these vials that you can fill with shooters and then you stick them in the tampon cartridges?
No, I'm not.
So then you're like taking your tampons, and when they look through your purse, all they're seeing is tampons. But then you have these like beaker style, or what are those, test tube style shooters in your tampon.
Yeah, people will do anything to not pay. I guess when the prices are like that, though.
Yeah.
You know, I watched that documentary on the, what was it? Fire Festival?
No idea
That
what
fake festival.
No idea what you're talking about.
This documentary.
No, I have not.
With
Is there serial killers and murderers in it?
No, there's not.
Then it's not for me.
What? Where they flew all these people out? I think it was the Fire Festival.
Elaborate.
What?
Educate.
I've told you about this documentary because I was like, this is riveting. This guy made a festival, sold all these tickets, promised all these like amazing acts, got people there on these, like, I don't know if they were private planes or just commercial, to this island. And then they're stuck on the island, and the guy like didn't properly prepare. So there was no water. There was really no sanitation. There was no porta potties. There wasn't enough anything.
No, but was there a real concert? Like it was fake.
It all fell through.
Oh, so
he's a mess.
So it was a scam.
He didn't mean it to be a scam.
Are you sure?
He thought it was going to be the next big thing, and he's horrible business planning. I was like, listen, I remember when I was watching, I just kept thinking, I could have done this better. Like, I planned my kids' parties better than you tried to plan this Fire Festival.
That's why.
I want to make sure it's called Fire Festival. I'm going to look it up. How have you not? I told you to watch this.
I know. You must have told me on an off day where my brain wasn't really concentrating or retaining any information, because that happens.
Yeah, by Billy McFarland. Fire Festival was a luxury music festival organized by Billy McFarland, an American businessman, and Ja Rule. Oh my gosh, it was originally created with the intent of promoting the company's app for booking musical talent. Scheduled to take place in the Bahamas. And then now there's a second one coming in April 2025. I would never in a million years. These people could not get water. They couldn't get out. It was disgusting, horrible. And these girls would and they thought, I'm going to go to a musical festival. So you see the things that girls wear more than I do, I guess, because you're going to festivals and stuff in the city.
Yeah.
It's not much clothes.
Well, especially if in the Bahamas. But first of all, like, have you ever been to you barely go to concerts. Are you going to go to a concert in the Bahamas?
Not the Fire Festival, not with Billy McFarland behind it. No, and also, like, at this point in my life, going anywhere for festivals is, like, long gone. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I feel like that guy also kind of shot himself in the foot. That'd be like, hey, we just rebuilt the Titanic. You want to come on it?
You know what's funny is that he got the Kardashians there. Or, they were promoting it. They didn't go. They were promoting it. And that is what's scary about social media, because you think all these people are only talking about things that they know about. No. If the money's big enough and they're going to get this check up front, then all of a sudden...
Oh, yeah, they'll say whatever you want to do. Give me $1 million. I'll do a lot of things for $1 million. I'll endorse my worst enemy. Right?
Really?
For $1 million. Okay, I guess $1 million isn't a lot of money these days, but just think about $1 million.
When I hate people, you did something really bad for me to call you.
Okay, think about your worst enemy right now. We don't have to say it out loud. But if I said, Patty, you have to go on live radio and you have to say 3 nice things about that person, and I'll give you $1 million.
I can say 3 nice things about anybody almost.
Okay, and then would you tell the world you're voting for them for president for $1 million?
Well, no, because I take my role as, your words have value. That's kind of scary. If you're going to go out and say something, and God forbid you have people that are going to do what you say just because they look up to you. Nobody's looking up to me, and nobody's going to do what I say just because I say it. But say if they were, and I had clout and I was famous, I wouldn't go and say, oh, this is who I'm voting for, if I didn't believe in it. That's kind of serious.
Do you think that once you get to a certain level of celebrityism or have that much money that your morals and values go by the wayside? It's like at that point, I don't care what people think about me because I have all the money in the world.
Gosh, no, I think that people care. That's a tough question. What does society care more about? What others think of them or having money? Because I really do think that it kind of comes hand in hand. You almost want money to impress people, it seems like.
Right. I don't know. I just feel like I'm just so tainted with the world today and all this stuff that's coming out about all these celebrities and things that they do for money and endorsements. I feel like I'd want to put my name to a brand that I actually use, love, and trust.
Well, that's the dream, is that the things that you actually like want to pay you or, have your help. But that's very rare. I mean, look at Mom Talk. The things that those girls are doing and the things that they're promoting are so against their values and morals, but they're doing it if the paycheck's big enough.
Okay, rewind. What is it? What, Mom Talk?
Oh, I'm so...
You're talking to a female that does not have children, so I'm not on Mom Talk.
No, so Mom Talk is like TikTok. But on Hulu, there's this show, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
I hear it's all the rage.
Have you not heard of them?
I don't have Hulu. I've
Okay.
heard of it.
I actually, when we signed up for Hulu
They got you specifically for that?
Yeah, just for the show. Absolutely. Well, because I want to learn more about them. You know me with reality shows, so I'll find a sinker there. But they're going on, and they got famous, a group of just moms in Utah who have beautiful houses, and they're all Mormon, and they do these TikTok dances. And then one of them came out and kind of said that they were all sort of swingers, and that's how I guess they kind of blew up on the internet. And then now they have a show, but it's not even with the original people. It's with one of them. I don't know, these new Mormon wives. But it's good. I heard it's really good.
Wait, so you got Hulu to watch this, but you haven't watched it? Wait, I'm very confused. So you're paying the $9.99 a month just to let it sit on your shelf?
Here's the problem. Mike isn't home to help me, and I forgot the password. And he's always at work by the time I sit down to watch it at night.
And is he like my husband, where he won't text you the password because he thinks someone's going to hack into your phone and find the password?
Oh, no, that's now a new fear unlocked, I'm sure. No, he would text it to me or he'd call me, but I don't want to bother him with it. And then I just either start reading. Also, I got very into The Perfect Couple on Netflix.
Oh, see, I can't watch that because I need to read the book first.
No, you don't.
No, I do. Because if I don't read the book first and I watch the movie, I won't read the book. So I feel it's a motivation factor for me to read because I'm way behind my goal for this year. I set my goal for 30 books and I think I'm barely at 12. And where are we? We're in October. So I'm definitely not hitting my goal unless I quit my job and I literally just read every minute of the day.
No, just do easy reads. Well, you like the crime thrillers.
Yeah, but I feel the whole purpose of reading, that's what someone was like, did you ever hear of Audible? But I want to condition my brain. My goal is to not end up, I already have severe memory loss from 10 years ago. No, I just feel like my memory used to be so good. And now I struggle sometimes. So that's my key in my health. That's my brain working out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seeing the words and reading. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm like, well, you're not reading at that point. You didn't read that book on Audible. You listened to a story be told to you. And that's, if all my kids did for school was just, hey guys, sit down, I'm going to read you these books. That's great too. Hearing the words is great.
Right.
The stories, but to help your brain, you need to sit down with the words and dissect it and read it and see it and then have it all make sense that way.
Yeah, there's certain things I feel like you can listen to, right? My favorite one I listened to was the Matthew Perry biography, especially if the celebrity you're reading the biography about is telling the story, because then it's super relatable because you're hearing them and their voice. But I also, just like I wasn't very confident in my voice on this podcast, a lot of voices drive me crazy. So if I start listening to a podcast and they're annoying, I'm shutting it off right away. If I start listening to an Audible book and your voice sounds like I'm watching paint dry, I'm shutting it off.
Totally. No,
So
when I started listening to our podcast I had to check my phone because do you know that in some of the apps when you listen to things, whether it's a book or a podcast, you can speed it up?
Yeah.
I guess that people just really talk so slow because for you and I had to look. I'm like, did I put this on the speed mode? Like the quick mode, the fast mode? Because we're just talking so quick. But I'm like, you know what? I guess I kind of appreciate that. My brain just goes at that pace. And then I just speak at that pace.
Can you imagine if one of us was a fast talker and one was a slow talker?
I would jump on my skin on my side of the desk and I'd be like, let's go.
Yeah, my dad would always be like, slow down, Danielle, slow down.
My oldest sister is the fastest talker, and her reasoning for it is so funny. She always says there's 7 kids in my family, and if I don't talk quick, I'm not going to be heard. And like, how funny is that?
That makes a lot of sense though. But I feel there's a lot of people that I surround myself with that barely talk. So then do you ever feel that way? Like you're around people that barely talk, so you feel like you have to talk? And then people are probably like, oh my God, she never shuts the fuck up because like no one else is talking.
Well, I feel like that's you when you go into Ubers. You're like, it's too silent. No one's talking. This is my cue. This is my cue.
Yeah, so yesterday's Uber. So I wasn't even thinking when I ordered the Uber, and I was like, oh, like it was a cheap ride and it's like comfort. And I was thinking like extra comfy, like comfort, you think like roomy. Well, I didn't realize it was comfort meaning cozy. So the Tesla is like, they assigned me to a Tesla and I'm with 3 grown men. So it was like really, really scrunchy in there.
Who got the front seat?
Jay got the front seat. He offered it to Pat. Pat just said it was okay because he didn't want to, be stuck in the front seat.
Sure.
So it wasn't as terrible of a ride. The guy was a good driver. Pat loves to tell jokes, and he is really good at it. So he can just like pop them out, pop them out, pop them out. So it was funny because then him and the Uber driver were going back and forth with jokes. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really get a lot of banter. Well, I tried and I started because I asked him how long he's been Ubering and like what his worst story was. And have you ever met any crazy people?
He's probably like, I'm living it right now.
No, I think he said he was doing it for about 3.5 years and he doesn't really have any crazy stories besides one time a guy puked in his car.
Ew.
But luckily that day he had all the cleaning supplies and gloves and all the stuff in his car. Oh. But did you know that if you do throw up in an Uber,
they charge you
$250?
I did hear that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It was $250. My God, funny, horrible story. But my college roommate came to visit solely this summer, solely to go to the city to see Bluey. Where all my Bluey fans at. It's one of the best. It shows, thank God for Disney, because it's funny, you can watch it, you can enjoy it, all the things. But so me and my college bestie go to the city. She has 2 kids. I have 3. So we pile into my car, and I didn't know, but her son gets car sick. So like we had the car seats lined up, so he's in the way back. So it's literally taking us over an hour and a half to get to the city, and it's not fun driving. It's just bumper to bumper traffic. I hate it. I was like, but we're in the front, so we're having a grand old time. We're just singing and hanging out and whatever. All of a sudden, the kid's in the back, he starts puking. So I'm like, here, there, my car. I'm a mom, so I have my car has everything that you ever could need. So now we have like baby wipes, we have grocery bags that we're like sending to the back. So now my oldest is trying to like help him hold the bag. So he's puking in his bag. My poor oldest was like in the center, and I could just see his face in my rearview mirror. I like wanted to laugh. I wanted to cry. I was like, I felt so bad, but we're in the middle of traffic on the highway.
And this is on the way there?
And this is on the way there. And then I felt so bad because he just kept like needing to puke. And I was like telling my friend Baker, I'm like, hop back there. Like, unbuckle and get back there because like, the car is, so big. You can fit back there, like, help him. It was so crazy. And then, it really smelled. But luckily, somehow he got most of it in the back.
Good for him. He's probably used to it if he gets car sick a lot.
I guess. I was like, what a champ. Like, he must have trained for this moment because I was so happy. I thought it was going to be all over the back of the seat, like in the fabric and stuff, too.
Because then, you're not getting that smell. You got to sell the car.
Seriously. But no, and Mike helped me clean it. My friend's like, oh my gosh, here I am coming to visit. I'm begging you to go to Bluey with me. We drive to the city. The one redeeming thing about the kids in that car ride, though, her daughter, I guess she listens to the LMFAO shots.
No.
So she's in the back of the car, and the song's on, and she's just singing. How old is? I think she's turning 2, and she's going shots, 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 shots. I'm like, I love this. This is like a total throwback to our college bar days, and now you're 2-year-old.
Oh my God.
Oh no, she says socks. Yeah, that's right. So she's not saying. So when I guess Baker will like put on her socks, socks, and I'm like, this is the cutest.
Oh my God, that's super cute. Yeah,
like full circle moment.
Makes me feel a little bit better about Baker and her daughter's relationship that she's teaching her about putting her socks on versus taking shots to her face.
I'm so glad I remembered it was socks because Baker will listen and be like, oh God, she outed me. No, it was so cute. Mom life. Also, another big one. I'm sure I'm not the only mom when you're potty training. Shoot, what's that other song about partying?
Party in the USA. Party in the party.
No, it's party like a rock star. But your kid is gonna go potty and you just say potty like a rock.
Oh,
Potty like a rock star. Yeah, all the moms do. I feel like there should be like a whole show changing the words, or streaming service that's just kid songs or popular songs that are made into change the words for kids.
all right, guys. Coming next month, you can hear Patty releasing her first solo album on cool songs we used to club to that now teaches your kids how to do things. Get on it.
Me and Snoop Dogg would be like thick as thieves.
Can you imagine? You can get him and Martha Stewart and just collab, man.
Yeah, totally.
I am very excited. That's like the one good thing California's done. And there's this actual girl that's going to petition actually in the middle of October to fight for our rights.
Good for her.
Yeah. So it's really, and actually Pepsi, I read today that PepsiCo, like there's these chips, I forget what they're called.
Takis.
Takis has probably the worst ingredients, but it's one of no, it's one of the chips that has really all the natural ingredients. I've been buying it, the big bag of tortilla chips. No, Siesta.
I don't know.
They have potato chips and they have tortilla chips. They're grain free. They use all real ingredients. So they were saying that all these smaller companies now that are really focusing on giving us good ingredients is affecting the food industry. So now Pepsi's trying to buy this company.
To change them?
Well, not to change them, but to integrate it because people are linking it. So hopefully we'll see more of the food companies changing what they're putting in our food. Again, hopefully that becomes a law. This girl got enough signatures to petition it. So she's taking it to Congress.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Let's not even try to pretend we know what we're talking about there or what you have to do. But I love that because you and I talk a lot about, complaining about change and never taking action or wanting to do something with your life and just being too scared to go do it and just getting it started. So bravo to whoever this girl
Yeah, I'm excited because, again, it's linked to so many things for especially kids. They were saying, autism, ADHD, eczema. So
yeah,
I feel like a change is due to better ourselves and better the future of the world.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the stuff doesn't taste as good because when I try to buy like the healthy Cheez-Its, last week I made a mistake and I came home and I tried them and I was like, oh, these are horrible. And Mike's like, well, look at the box. What did you think they were going to taste like, But I refuse. I don't want to get Cheez-Its. I love Goldfish, but the stuff in them is horrible.
Did you ever try making your own Cheez-Its?
No.
Looks really simple.
Really?
Literally, you just take pieces of cheese, you cut them in little squares, then take a straw and put a little hole in the middle, sprinkle them with salt, and then you bake it. I mean, I've never tried it, but I see it on Instagram and TikTok all the time.
Let's try it because I feel like, I'll probably not do it because it's time consuming, but if I do it, I bet it's great.
But that's a thing. So then maybe you'll be designating an hour or two for food prepping. And I feel like the more you eat something and you filter out all those processed, because that's what the chips, my husband, these taste like fucking cardboard.
I know.
And then now he'll eat them. I mean, I'm sure.
Retrain your brain.
Right,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. What we have to do apparently, because the junk that we're being fed is just not okay.
But have you ever noticed if you do get on your kick of diets, a couple of days and then you realize you're not really craving those things, like the sweet stuff or the salty stuff, if you're starting eating more of that stuff, I feel like it's when you're eating all the other stuff is when you start craving the other things.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Because maybe your brain forgets how good the other food tastes. I did yoga for the first time last month. I feel like I haven't done it since, but I do feel like my life changed. The guy was so good, and the way he spoke, I was like, oh my gosh, I love yoga now.
I used to love it. I used to do hot yoga all the time, and it was amazing. Well, probably back then it probably wasn't, because I feel like this is again 15 years ago.
So you could do all the downward dog.
I mean, I'm not flexible at all. I probably look like a tree trying to bend over when I'm in yoga class, but I didn't freaking care.
You got to stretch your body. You got to do all that stuff. I feel like we're going to live longer if we're stretching and doing all that.
Yeah. So a PSA to all the young ladies out there or the young gents, start early, because if you try to do flexibility in your 40s, it ain't happening. You're not going to, I don't think you can build as much flexibility as you want to starting now.
I wonder what the stats are on that, because I feel like anything that you do consistently, If you're stretching every day, yeah, I feel like 40 or not, you're going to see changes.
All right, so we'll do that maybe like a November challenge. We'll stretch every day or do some sort of like intense stretching and then see how our body feels in December.
My kids told me recently that in PE, they'd do that test.
The sit and reach?
The sit and reach. And I didn't want to tell them because I don't want to like scar them, but I'm scarred from it. And I'm like, oh my God, was it horrible? Because apparently I was bad at that.
Yeah, you had to like go and then you had to like try to hit it twice just when no one was looking.
You could do it once, and then like, how far are you getting? And then like your legs. Oh my God, yeah. I was like, wow, they still do that. Is there no better way than putting your feet against this box and reaching? But I guess
that's something that has not changed over time. You still have this box, this metal box that probably has sharp corners on it that you are like cut yourself. Yeah. Then you have to get a tetanus shot.
Was it metal? I feel like it was wood. It might have been
metal. Like metal. I'm seeing metal in my head.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, maybe wood. Then we get splinters. AI. So this morning I saw this guy post. He's like, go into AI and type in, based on what you know about me, profile me. And I was like, this is going to be awesome. Didn't work.
Well, you have to use it a lot in order for them to know anything about you.
Well, but it was saying they can't, like, I'm not a celebrity. There's not enough information out there on me. But I feel like when you Google yourself, you can find a lot of information. So I felt like AI was very lazy this morning.
There was a thing on Instagram lately, a trend where it was like, take a screenshot of your Instagram feed, like your what you've posted, put it into Chat GPT and say, roast my Instagram. Did I send?
I feel like we talked about this, but I don't remember the outcome.
Oh my God, I did it for myself, and it was so funny and so spot on about my kids and then everything. And then there was like a black and white photo, and they roasted me for that, saying, you know, you throw in this black and white photo trying to be all emotional and moody. And I was like, actually, exactly what I was going for. Thanks for picking up on that. Like, it was so funny. Go on and roast yourself in Chat GPT. Then I was trying to do it for my friends. And then I used all my free stuff for the day. They're like, sorry. I was like, darn, I was just getting started. It was good. They did really good with that. So
I feel like that would be a fun little thing for a girls' day. Mm-hmm. Everyone pick a name out of a hat, and then based on what they Google about you, they have to put together a little roast.
Oh, okay. Nobody would like that. Everyone would cry.
Oh, no, it'd be so great.
You would like that. I love watching the roasts on Netflix.
Oh my God.
Nikki Glasser, is that her name?
Nikki Glacier.
Okay, I was like, I know I'm gonna butcher it. Her roast on Tom Brady.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed.
Like, all hail Queen. Like, that was so
She is good. So good. I mean, she's raunchy as hell, but I think that's why I can relate. But have you
phenomenal.
Yeah, all the roast, she's so good.
I need to watch her more. I don't think I like her stand-up, but when
some of her stand-up is a little uncomfortable, but she's really good in all the roasts. I really like when you see the host get a little uncomfortable. So Tom Brady definitely got a little uncomfortable during that roast a few times. I felt like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, it has to be real awkward to be going through a divorce, and you have children that are going to see it. I wouldn't do a roast.
But he signed up for it. I think he got paid like $25 million or something.
I guess. Here's the thing, though. That goes back to like the money. What are you willing to do for money? Now that I have children, I would never, and also just kind of projecting out to the future, how does that affect their mindset and their life and overall mental health to watch your father get torn apart, and then also your mom in this roast?
But are you showing your kids at 7 and 3?
No, absolutely not. I'm not showing my kids anything, but that doesn't matter because the kids at school and the parents that are crap parents, they're talking about things in front of their kids. They're showing their kids, and then their kids are talking about it to my kids at school. So it doesn't really matter because they're still going to go out in the world. If it's out in the world, they're going to see it eventually.
Right, but I feel like when you're a celebrity, it doesn't matter if you do a roast or not. You're constantly being talked about. When you're checking out at the grocery store, you're seeing the National Enquirer or the Star or the In Touch or whatever the hell magazine is out there with your latest gossip. So I feel like if you're a celebrity, you have to expect that that's going to happen. And then if you have children, you have to expect they're going to hear things about you.
Yeah, I guess that's... The roast obviously is next level. You are signing up, you're getting paid so much money, but maybe that's then why they do it. Because they're like, this is all out there anyways. Let's just put it all in one place and then make some money off of it for my kids' future. I just think...
Yeah, by being roasted, you're investing in your children's future.
Well, I mean, if that's what you're doing it for is the money, why else are you doing that?
Right. But so the flip side is that if you really had to like dig deep and someone was roasting you, you know, and obviously they go for the low blows, right?
Mm-hmm.
So most people who think realistically would know what their like low blows would be, right? I know what people would probably attack me on. Do you know what people would probably attack you on?
I can't even fathom anyone attacking me about. No, I don't know. If I was Tom Brady, yes, of course.
No, but you're Patty. I feel like this is a good exercise too. So all you guys out there, think about yourself and your qualities and maybe your less desirable qualities. And if your friend had to roast you, would you know what they would low blow you at?
I think so, but I don't think that mine's like the fact that it wouldn't go to like my husband. You know, it wouldn't affect my kids as much to hear people, you know, call out all my garbage.
Would you let someone roast you for $25 million in front of your children and your husband?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not going through that divorce or hooking up with like a Kim Kardashian character. You know, I feel like you have to know, and then is it worth it? And apparently for him, it was worth it. For me, I don't think that I have that much stuff that would damage my children.
Well, let's see. This is a test because I'm going to go, when I'm really bored, I'm just going to roast all my friends. And then on a day I feel like losing a friend, I'll just, you know, all right, today is the roast of Patty Consenios. And then next week will be my sister. And then by the end of the month, I'll be friend free.
On a day I feel like losing a friend.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to schedule in all your groups of friends. Sometimes I'll tell him, well, I haven't seen this group, you know, in 6 months. And he's like, you've been out 3 times this month. And yeah, but that was with my high school friends, and then the book club, and then the people from work, and then the girls from Cycle, and then the girls from the old Cycle studio. Like, it's hard to schedule it in.
Yeah, and then do you also, like, get very aggravated if it's in the same friend group, you know, and it's like, okay, same friend group, let's try to get everyone together. And then people are like, oh, I can't make it, but I can go meet you for coffee later. And it's like, you defeated the fucking purpose here. I wanted all 5 of you in the same room on this day, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of magic that happens when it's a group, and then there's also magic that happens one-on-one.
But it's also a time saver. Like, not saying like in and out like a fucking factory,
so
you know, like
speed date your friends. Like, how do we move this along quicker?
But that's what I was saying. We need to normalize. I was saying to you earlier. All right, so I don't have kids, and I feel like because I don't have kids, a lot of people think I have a lot of extra time on my hands, which I'm not saying I don't. Like, in retrospect to a working mom with children, I do have more time on my hands.
You don't have more time on your hands. You have more time to do as you please, maybe. We obviously all have the same time, but you don't have to do the carpool after work, say. You get to choose what you do.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. How would you feel that, because you were talking the other day how you don't go shopping, like you do pickup orders. And I find that weird because I'm at the grocery store like 3 times a week because I don't want anyone touching my produce, buying me produce. I don't even trust my husband to buy the correct produce. So if I were to be like, Patty, what are you up to this week? And you're like, oh, I'm so busy. I got to go to Target. I got to buy new sheets and I got to fold laundry. And if I was like, I want to hang out, but how about I pick up some coffee and then I come over and I watch you fold laundry? Or, hey, I'll go on your Target run with you and we can stop at the Starbucks inside the Target and then we can walk around and talk while you shop. Don't you think that'd be an awesome time saver? It's almost like calling that person while you're driving in the car because it's convenient to do so.
Mm-hmm. That is so top tier friend level because who wants to go run the meaningless errands with people? Who would want that, you know? But if you had time, I think it's hard too because say if I didn't have kids, you know, it's like you deserve to be able to like go and be waited on and go to a nice restaurant and sit there and, you know, catch up with your friends is a totally different vibe. But if your sole purpose is to connect, support, be there, and have time with your friends in whatever capacity that looks like. Last night, so when you were mentioning this, last night I had carpool where I work, the classes were canceled. So my friend Bree was like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, well, now I'm going to do the carpool. I'm going to help my husband out, you know, and I can help with the kids, whatever. She was like, oh, well, what if I meet you? And it was so cool because then instead of just carpooling by myself and whatever, I had her there. So it's so funny that you say that. And then she actually texted me after, because I was the whole time kind of thinking like, she's probably like bored sitting here waiting for the kids to get done, but we're chatting, we're catching up. And for me, it was filling my cup. And I've actually done that with my sister where we'll just like sit and connect, but all I'm doing is just waiting. And it's like, I'm getting my stuff done or I'm taking my kids here, there, and everywhere. And it was really nice. And so Brie last night texted me. She's like, thanks so much. That was exactly what I needed. Like, she just needed that connection. She just needed that catch up. Also, I did. And we got it, whatever capacity it was. And it really was just like daily life, her just joining in on my stuff.
Right. And I feel like that's also like a tell test of like real friends versus like the fake friends or, like the filler friends. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I've ever said this out loud, but like I have this in my head. Like, I don't mind hanging out with my friends and their kids, right? Not at all. So I'm okay. But in my head, I'm like, for every 5 times I give you with hanging out with your kids, like, I just want one dinner without your children or one day without your children. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's respectable, right? If you're going to be that person, because I think I have more friends with kids than I have kids without friends without kids. So I feel like that's probably should normalize that too and just be like, yeah, I'm cool. I don't mind coming over for game night, and hanging out with your kids or doing whatever, because again, you're building the relationship, you're bonding,
Right.
And it's, again, you're not going to do that with a fake friend, but those are the friends that you have these levels of friendships with that mean something to you because you want to be part of their world and not just the world that benefits you or that's convenient for you. It's their whole world.
Absolutely. Well, I think that you can show up completely differently. And it's funny because I even think of it as like going on, like, say, even if nobody has kids, just like when you go on double dates with somebody and their husband versus when you just get girl time, you show up differently. You talk about different things.
Right.
The level of what you're willing to discuss and bring up is completely different. Same thing when kids are around. But yeah, I mean, in the perfect world, you would get time like that. But I think that knowing what you need or expect is the first step, and then getting what you need or expect. Sometimes people don't even realize, like, hey, I'm not feeling as close to this friend, and they don't realize why. And it's like, well, maybe because you haven't, whatever expectations like or needs that you have in their connection, maybe you don't even know what that is. So then how on earth are you asking for that from your friend? And it's definitely like a good balance. I love when you hang out with my kids. I love that my kids know you and think that you're funny and think that you're, everything that I think of you, like they get little glimpses. I think that's so cool. But then having alone time is so important too, right? Like just adult time. But that's also where podcasts, I feel like, are this little bit of connection. Now, it's obviously not with your friends in real life, unless, of course, you're our friend and you're listening. But
thank you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. But it is nice because podcasts do make me feel like I am getting some sort of adult connection on my drives or whatever. If I've gone through my whole like phone list of my friends that I like to talk to on the phone who keep me entertained, whether I'm folding laundry or whatever. But that's even better if you have a friend that's going to come and sit at the end of the table while you're sitting there folding your clothes or while you're food prepping for the week. Like that's amazing. And sometimes I wish that I like lived in a combine of like just all these little houses. I don't know any of my neighbors and I kind of like it that way, but they're also sweet, they're also kind, but nobody that's going to come over and entertain me nor like has ever been into my house, but that would be really cool.
Yeah. That's why when I watch Friends, I get envious. Like, wouldn't it have been cool at one point to like live with a couple people and then live across the hall from like another couple people? And it was just constantly going back and forth.
I know, that was college.
I mean, yeah, that was college. Yeah.
I remember going on my bachelorette trip and it was, I guess like 3 years after graduating college, maybe. And I remember coming home and just thinking that it was the coolest time ever because it was just 24/7 with my best friends, morning to night. And every time that I go on like a girls trip or whatever, I just kind of sit and think, this is so awesome. This is what I needed. And it kind of makes you feel, obviously young again too, because everything that you're doing, you're going to get coffee, you're going to unpack, you're going to repack, you're going to take a shower, you're going to do your hair, you're going to curl your hair, and you always have a buddy sitting there laughing, whatever. I love that.
Yeah. So the bright side of Jay dying before me is I won't remarry, and I want to like set up like the Golden Girls compound, and I want to live in Florida with 3 other roommates.
So you're thinking that if he dies before you.
Yeah, like, you know, I already have some people that signed up that says they would love to be a part of my Golden Girls retirement. So I already got 2 people signed up. So if Mike goes before you and you want to join my compound at Sunny Acres, feel free. I think it would be super fun, especially as old ladies, because, you know, you get bitter and angry and cranky. And then hopefully some people keep their personality and humor.
Where is this taking place? I don't know.
Florida. You need warm water or warm weather, because especially when you get old, you're always cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to school down in Boca, and they always said, "Oh my God, you go to school in the retirement community?" And I'm like, "Hey, there's a beach, and there's a lot of fun happening in Boca."
Did you play a lot of shuffleboard?
Not even once.
Not even once. Okay,
No.
I've never played shuffleboard either, so we'll have to start learning that.
Yeah, pickleball too. This is the end of our episode essentially, and we haven't even talked about anything.
Well, again, this is a show about nothing.
Yet everything all at once.
So I think we share the same low of the week, but what was your high?
My high was that over the weekend, my husband and our 2 older kids went out on a camp out in Michigan.
Indiana.
Indiana, thanks. I was like, oh, where were they? And they had the best time. And the fact that my husband would go, it was an Indian Guides thing. So kind of like Boy Scouts, I guess. I don't really know a lot about it. The kids came home super happy. And I begged my husband, please don't let them stay up too late Friday and Saturday night, because they're flag football playoff games on Sunday in the afternoon. And they gotta be ready. I can't have them like slack.
Mama can't be disappointed during that flag football team game.
And they did really good. They played amazing again. So happy all around. It was fabulous to kind of watch and witness and see. I think parents nowadays, and friends of parents too, really value children, and because we kind of see that their childhood is really going to affect them when they're older. And the fact that I'm surrounded by so many people that care and want to invest in my children, and especially that I married someone who wants to invest into my boys, I'll never take that for granted. It's super cool. So that was definitely my high.
That's awesome. That's good, because I feel like, unfortunately, not a lot of people, whether it's a father or a mother, kind of either can show up for their children like that or kind of choose not to. So the fact, especially with your husband's crazy work schedule, that he gets a lot of compliments on like what a great dad he is, and like showing up for that whole weekend. And I feel like when he was talking about it the other day, he was more excited about that weekend than the 2 boys were. Just wanted to tell us everything. So that was super cute.
He's, again, just really invested in the kids. But I noticed that is what fills his cup. He is happier. And when you can see your friend and you kind of like see a twinkle in their eye and you're like, oh, they're in their element. They love what they're doing right now. That is what I see in him all the time when he's around the kids. Yeah, it's really cool to see what fills him up and makes him happy. If you can be a great dad while you're making yourself happy, I mean, that's like the end all be all. That's the best,
Yeah, double whammy.
Yeah. So what was your high?
Not that I swear to God, we did not plan this, but like going on the theme of being, a proud wife, maybe. So the concert we went to yesterday, we went to Sturgill Simpson, which not a lot of people know who probably that is, but very great live. My husband loves him. So we bought tickets for the concert back during COVID time, and then it got canceled, and he was so sad. So he came back to the Salt Shed, and he bought me a ticket, and then his 2 besties tickets. And I was like, dude, you could just go, just with the boys, right? Just go, just have a guys' night. He's like, no, I want you to be there. So the fact that he wants me to be there along with his 2 guy friends, kind of means a lot, because I feel like a lot of times I hear wives being like, my husband never wants me around. I can never tag along and do those things. So, I mean, it works out. I was with my husband, one of my besties, and then I call Pat the brother I never wanted, the way we bicker back and forth with each other. But I feel like the dynamic is good between the 4 of us. We always have a great time. It was a great night. So that kind of filled my cup, just validating, as much as I'm a raging bitch sometimes, that my husband still does enjoy hanging out with me. And then unfortunately, Patty and I are sharing the low of the week. On Saturday, we were at a memorial for one of our best friends who's had to say goodbye to their little baby boy, who was barely 2 months old. had some heart complications and didn't make it. So to see a friend go through something like that, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And we're really proud of her for staying strong and keeping a smile on your face, even we know that you're struggling. And just a reminder that it's okay to break down. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be mad. And we're here for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing, like a huge takeaway, and I told Michelle this, everyone kept saying that their baby, and I'll say, like, really affected everybody. And it's wild how the world works and how God works. But, to think that all of us and anybody who hears of his story can kind of live their life being a little bit more present and loving a little bit bigger and unconditionally, because seeing the way that our friends loved that sweet boy while they had him is something that is going to affect me for the rest of my life. And the way that they were warriors through it. I heard this quote and it reminds me of them so much that, you're put in these bad times and then it really shows you how strong you are. Or you're put through tragedies and these horrible times and it shows you how strong you always were. And that is just something that I never wish I would have noticed about my friend who had to go through this. But man, what a strong foundation for her life that she has created with her faith and her husband and her kids and her family and the support teams.
So we love you, Michelle. We love you, Michael. And we are here for you. So again, thanks for tuning in. We're going to keep being us so you can keep being you.
Thanks so much for listening.
Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Wake up with the sunshine glow, besties chat in stereo. Life is wild, let's tell the tale. Everyday dreams set a sail. Coffee cups and morning grins, laughing about the little wins. Share the highs and all the lows, couldn't be more apropos. Tune in for the laughs we share, fun and stories everywhere. Besties talking loud and clear, everyday life we hold dear.